And we should be live. Larry Johnson, my friend, how are you doing?
I think I'm alive. I'm talking, I'm breathing.
That's good.
Good
Uh,
signs. Good signs.
Good signs. Probably better signs than Ben Gurion Airport. What do you think?
Well, it disrupted traffic. It didn't do any significant damage. Unlike, Israel turned around and just apparently were claiming that they destroyed Yemen's airport. But, I think the Houthis will continue to fire back. And, Israel thinks it can kill its way out of this. We've said this repeatedly, and they can't.
Yeah, exactly. The one thing that I found very interesting was the comment from who was it? The Minister of Foreign Affairs of the United States that said that uh,
You mean
Iran, as usual.
Marco Rubio?
Yeah, yes, I think it was him on Twitter.
Well, you said so. He's the Secretary of State. He's the equivalent of the Foreign
Secretary of
Minister.
State. Yeah, blaming Iran from for like we're seeing what you're doing there.
No, that was
You're
Pete.
putting-
That was Pete Hegseth,
Pete
the
Hegseth.
Secretary of Defense.
Too many names. We
Yeah,
have too many people working.
That's why you have me. That's why you invite me on to talk.
Exactly.
I can sort out who's who.
If I was able to do that, I could just do the program by myself.
Yeah, you wouldn't need me.
I need good people. But yeah, I mean, what I see today during this week, well, the last week I was kind of away. I've been to San Marino to visit another country, which is a hill. But I've been slightly away from everything. But I saw this, and all I've been seeing is a roller coaster, of escalation, de-escalation, and now it looks again that they are blaming Iran. Well, at the same time that they are having talks. Again, Saturday there was some fire on a power plant. I didn't see the details on that.
Yeah, no telling if it was an actual, terrorist attack or what, but
yeah,
it didn't mean anything.
But what's going on with Iran and the United States and Israel? This, just Israel today was talking about taking Gaza completely. Doesn't matter. Let's
Right.
just take Gaza. Again, the peace talks, the negotiations between the United States and Iran going forward slightly, slowly, but looks like going forward. How do you see these movements, Larry?
Well, Israel's its actions are dictated by Bibi Netanyahu's political situation, and he is in trouble at home. And so, one way to distract from that is to carry out offensive military operations overseas or in a outside or in adjacent territory. So, the Israeli claim now they're going to really, hurt Hamas. They've had 19 going on 20 months to do so. They failed. They failed to defeat a guerrilla force. It is not, Hamas is not a modern army. Doesn't have artillery. Doesn't have tanks. Doesn't have armored personnel carriers. Doesn't have helicopters, an air force, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance capability. It's very limited. Sidearms, rifles, maybe some heavy machine guns, and some mortars. Other than that, Israel's got every single military advantage a country could have, except they haven't been able to defeat Hamas. And so now they're going to go in and try to totally occupy it. Great. More of these Zionist thugs will die. And as the body starts stacking up, then the political heat is going to grow and grow and grow on Netanyahu. And then at the same time they're doing that, they're trying to boost their military presence in Syria. And the tensions are escalating with Turkey. So all of a sudden now they've got to figure out how to staff really 5 different, 4 different war efforts directly on the ground: Lebanon, Syria, West Bank, and Gaza. And they don't have an unlimited pool of reservists. They've got a limited pool. And those reservists, many of them are refusing to respond when called to duty. They said, no, we're done. We're burnt out. We've got jobs, families to take care of. We're not going to do it.
Another
So,
passport.
yeah. So, I don't see this as in a good situation for Israel militarily. It's going to weaken them, not strengthen them. And then, Netanyahu keeps talking about wanting to attack Iran. If he does that, it will end up threatening the very existence of Israel, because Iran. I just watched a video with Dmitry, was it Lakaris? Yeah, he broadcast, I think, out of the UK, but he is in Iran. I was invited to be on this trip. Pepe Escobar's there, Alistair Crook and his wife Asleen are there. And I wanted to go, but I had another commitment that I had made previously that I couldn't get out of. But Dmitry was at their aerospace museum yesterday, showing off the different ballistic missiles and the drones, the different kinds of drones they've had. And this wasn't the full revelation of all of their equipment. This was just showing you a sample, and it's significant. And with mobile launchers, and then also the display their own air defense system. They've got Russian S-400s, I believe, but they've also got their own robust system. So if Israel is dumb enough to choose to attack Iran will fend off that attack, and then they will retaliate against Israel in a way that Israel has never been hit. Never. And as we saw, the lesson of Ben Gurion from the Houthis is their ballistic missile got through. So even though they got the super THAAD system from the United States, and there's a theater high altitude anti-missile defense system, is I think what that THAAD stands for, and their Iron Dome failed. Both of them failed. And that was just against some Houthi missiles. They're described as hypersonic. They just travel very fast, but they're not maneuverable. And they're not terribly accurate either. We haven't seen any display of accuracy on the Houthi side. But it's still underscored that Israel has no defense against that. So we'll see what happens with Iran.
Yeah, just I remember all my years reading about, the Iron Dome is the fantastic system, and suddenly I started to say, no. Iron Dome is something, but then you have the David's slingshot or whatever, and then you have the THAAD, and then and each one of these has its. Okay, so Iron Dome is not the big umbrella. You have different systems, but when you start to have to explain that, yeah, I have different systems for different cases, and none of them work.
Yeah.
Looks like you're in trouble.
Well, I mean, most air defense systems are based. It's just like personal security. You build rings of security out. They're integrated. It's not one standalone that does everything. But clearly, the THAAD system is the one that's supposed to deal with the ballistic missiles, and it failed. Pure and simple. Yeah. Even Jack Keane, that incorrigible neoconservative maniac, he conceded that it failed.
Yeah, so things are, every now and then I have Lucas Leroy here, who is a Brazilian journalist. And one thing that he always points out is that, even though Iran has or doesn't have nuclear capabilities, Iran can destroy Israel without nuclear capabilities.
Yeah,
So,
they've got well, they can at least do significant damage. They can severely harm their military resources, knock out power plants, attack communication centers. So yeah, there's a lot of targets they can hit.